great. I just want to start off by thanking you guys for sitting down with us.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and I also want to thank you for making this movie. Like, honestly, it's one of my favorites of all years so far.
That's great, man.
I'm really glad.
One thing, I mean, I could start off by asking a bunch of time travel questions, but then we'd be here like all day.
Doesn't matter.
One thing I noticed was that the difference between younger Joe and older Joe is that younger Joe, he was more interested in saving his own life and protecting what he had, while older Joe is more interested in protecting his wife and like what other people have. And which one do you think that the audience is going to relate to more?
That's true on one level, but at the same time, is old Joe really acting for his wife? Would his wife want him to do the horrible things he's doing? Or in his own way, is old Joe being as selfish as young Joe and trying to hold on to this thing he perceives as his, trying to hold on to the thing that's most important to him and doing horrible things in order to keep that thing, which is really the same thing young Joe's doing with the silver. So in terms of contrast, I feel like Sarah is almost more the contrast to what the place those two are at. But that's one of the I guess that's one of the things to untangle in the movie, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, everybody feels like they're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
I really like that about Looper, that there aren't exactly good guys and bad guys, and it can be fun to, root for the hero or root against the villain, but in real life, I don't think anybody's black and white. Everyone's a shade of gray somewhere. And so it's cool to have a sci-fi action movie that's realistic in that way.
The way you described it, though, that's absolutely the way. I was talking to Bruce recently, and that's the way that he was thinking about it when he was playing the part. That's where his character is coming from, is I'm acting out of love, I'm protecting my love, I have the noble thing. And it's interesting talking to him that he didn't realize the flip side of that until he really saw the movie, and it had a big emotional impact, because as playing that character, he just had to be in the mode of, these are my motivations, and they're pure and correct. It's interesting.
Yeah, I completely agree. One other thing is, like, watching this movie, it made me think of some other sci-fi movies where they have like these fictional careers that, like, you don't never know if you would actually want to sign up for something like that.
Yeah.
Like, I started thinking of like Blade Runner and
Yeah,
like Repo
yeah,
Man
yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you think if you guys existed in a world where these loopers existed, would you want to apply for that kind of job?
Oh, I hope not. It seems like you have to be a pretty desperate man to sign up to be a looper, I guess, which kind of defines the people who do it, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's a desperate world in the future too. You don't know what you do under those circumstances, I guess.
Yeah, it would be such a different life if I were an orphan, say, and I mean, who knows?
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, me, certainly not. I wouldn't kill people for money.
Yeah, especially, I mean, knowing that you're going to be killing yourself eventually too.
And that's part of the design of the world, was part of trying to show why these guys are willing to do that. And that's part of why it's such a dystopian future and it feels so dangerous on the streets. I mean, that was really a character thing just to put you in the headspace of, okay, it's so desperate out there, you either have your piece of the pie or you have absolutely nothing and you're on the streets, and it's a dangerous world. So hopefully you can see why these guys feel like, hey, if I get 30 good years, that's more than I'd probably get not doing this.
Did you have any kind of way to like ingratiate yourself into the whole like time travel stream of mind?
To be honest, I wasn't really concerning myself with the time travel so much, because my character doesn't know how it works and doesn't really care. He just shows up when they tell him to and pulls the trigger. So it wasn't we talked it through so that I would be able to, make sense of it like anybody. But it's really not that complicated. And so it wasn't what I focused on. What I focused on was the character, who he is, where he comes from, and where he's going. As to, the main challenge being that you see my older self in the movie and how I'm going to transform myself in order to match.
And that was, as a writer, that was kind of the approach to the storytelling, to taming time travel, was I came up with a whole system for how it works, but we're only seeing it through the eyes of characters who don't know or really care how it works. They just have to deal with the effects of it. So hopefully as an audience member, you're seeing it through their eyes.
Were you at all worried that the audience, kind of like when catch on little like time travel things at all? Did you?
Oh
were you worried
yeah,
about
but
that?
that's always the fun of a time travel movie. I mean, you can always, even my favorite time travel movies, you can have late night conversations and dig into and say, oh yeah, that though doesn't really line up with that, does it? And you know, it's time travel. Nothing's ever going to be 100% like clockwork in terms of everything working. I though, being a sci-fi geek myself, that's you know, all you can do is try and construct it as tightly as possible. Think it out as much as you can, and then turn it loose on the world and hope people have fun picking it apart rather than get annoyed.
Well, I think that's all the time we have. So thanks again for.
Thanks, man.
you.
Thank
And
you.
you're watching Frequency TV.
Nice. It's really good questions, man.
Thanks.
Real pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah.